go ahead and call this meeting to order. You guys had a chance to review the March 28th, 2024 minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right. Amendment to the bylaws.
All right, real quick, how we kind of got here, our bylaws were drafted from the template of our Newton Development Commission, and the Newton Development Commission didn't call for a treasurer. However, specific to the land bank in the ordinance, it does call for a treasurer. Our legal, Chris, cannot be here, but his recommendation is for this board to not amend the bylaws, but repeal the bylaws entirely. Even if you were to amend the bylaws, it would still have to go before the city commission tonight, which could still happen, but we can't get to where we need to be without repealing the bylaws. So we could repeal the bylaws, depend on the ordinance, bring back a new set of bylaws at a later time, but by repealing the bylaws and relying on the ordinance, that allows us to elect a treasurer, which is what we need to open up a bank account. Because for the bank account to be open, it needs a chairperson, vice chairperson, and a treasurer on the account. And we do not have a treasurer. We have a secretary, which is me, but that's what we need. What needs to happen. So, if you're amenable to that, we would then need a motion to repeal the bylaws, and that's where we're at.
I would move that we repeal the bylaws.
Second.
Yep, somebody second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Alex.
And then that would move us on to
Election of treasurer.
3. So with that, by the ordinance, which allows you to, the land bank to vote in a treasurer, you can then select a treasurer, which I would recommend me, but I can't sway you, so that's just.
You just did.
You just did.
Discuss amongst yourselves.
Does
if
the
you need.
bylaw say it can be an executive position and not a panel member?
We don't have any bylaws.
Well, I mean, the city ordinance.
The ordinance calls for, it's in your packet there, the ordinance, the officers, the board shall select from its membership a chairperson, vice chairperson, and a treasurer. The treasurer shall be bonded in such amounts as the governing body may require.
Next question. Is that, the ordinance is 5058-21?
Sorry, I just pulled away from it.
I would guess so.
Yes.
Okay.
And then section 4 of the ordinance is where it talks about the appointment of officers and conduct of meetings.
So when we do our bylaws, if we want to have the community development director, the Choose Newton director, in our bylaws, we would name that position in the bylaws eventually.
Eventually,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. We don't have much bank account activity, but
At
that
this
keeps
moment,
you
no.
from having to run somebody down when we need to
Yeah.
conduct business.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and that bank statement then for separation of duties, it would go to the city treasurer anyway.
You go to finance.
Yeah.
It would go to finance. So there's
We're
your
gonna keep
checks
track
and
of it.
balances, so.
We're going to have books.
And
Yeah.
then we'll report every meeting in your, so in your
Okay.
new packets moving forward, you'll have that balance sheet.
Well, I would make the motion then to have so what's your exact community
Community
development
Development
director?
There you go.
Currently, Zach McCatton be the treasurer of the land bank.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second by Chip. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. And then as far as the signature of the authorization form, we can,
Well, that's another thing that changed over the weekend. So the title company came back and they said they were good with our March 28th meeting, as it's stated in the affidavit of sale. So that will cover it. They did at first want a signature page, which with each of your signatures on it stating that Sal could sign and close. But since you have made a motion at the meeting and it's recorded, then
That's fine.
you've given Sal permission to sign, so you can adjourn the meeting and we can sign papers. That's really where we're at. I like it.
boom, wake up, Chip.
That was loud. Okay.
Meeting adjourned.